the side dish, we're going to use some of these carrots, portobello mushrooms, green beans, and my fresh picked broccoli. So I'm going to put this aside, and let me show you. As you can see, I showed you how I ground the beef myself. I bought a big chunk of sirloin tip roast, and that's a very lean cut of beef. And what I did was I seasoned it with herbs and spice and chopped bell peppers and onions. And as you can see, I turned it into patties. We have made some hamburger with the rest of these patties, and this is what I have. As you can see, I formed them and then I put them in the freezer so that they're ready for me anytime I need them. So after we enjoyed the first patties and made hamburger out of them, I have the rest. As you can see, I'm going to make Salisbury steak out of this, and I'm going to smother this with mushroom gravy. So let's get started. Okay, so I pretty much got everything prepped, and my fresh picked broccoli florets. All I'm going to do with that is steam that. It's so fresh that I want to make sure I enjoy the flavor of that, and I'm just going to steam that in this pot here. I'm going to put a little bit of water in there, bring it to boil, and put the florets in here and let it steam. And that's all I'm going to do with the broccoli. The rest of them I'm going to do a little stir fry. And the Salisbury steak, I am going to make mushroom gravy. I have cut out some of the ends and the stem of the mushrooms. And okay, first thing we do, put a little bit of oil in there, about a tablespoon or less, just to give the beef patty something to work with, because the meat is very lean. It's a very lean ground sirloin, and we need something to start it browning. And it's partially, the patties are still frozen, partially frozen, but we are going to put this on medium-low heat until it brown on both sides, and then we'll continue the process from there. Ooh, big patties. They'll shrink a little. Okay? So we'll give it a chance to brown on one side, and then we'll flip it. Okay, let's see if we can flip it on the other side. Okay. This is still partially frozen, so we're going to take our time cooking this. One side is browned. We're going to put a lid on it. And I'm going to switch stove and put this back there so I can start my vegetable stir fry. So we're going to put that in there. Okay, I make use of the stem of my broccoli. I separate the florets and I cut up the stem of the broccoli into like julienne, and I'm going to saute that along with the green beans. And next to that, I'll go ahead and add my portobello mushrooms. Give a little bit of salt. I'm going to add about a quarter cup of water. Okay, steaming nicely. We're going to add fresh cracked pepper. Give a mix. I got the stove on high because if you remember, I added some water in it to bring it to start steaming right away. And with the vegetable, I like to cook it fast. I don't like to stew it too much. Okay, so let's check our vegetables. We're going to let that steam a little more until it's almost drying up. And the green beans is just perfect, and I'm sure that the carrots and the mushroom will be right along with it. So what I'm going to do now is just allow it to steam a little more and then turn it off and put it aside. That's how simple I want my vegetables. Okay, for the gravy of that Salisbury steak, I'm going to put 2 scoops of this flour in here. Now, let's go ahead and put 3 heaping teaspoons of flour, and I'm going to add, I would say, about a cup of water here, and Worcestershire sauce. I'll probably give it a good 2 tablespoonfuls. Okay, in case you're wondering what this is the broth from my vegetables, which is done. I put it aside right there. I drained that excess liquid from it, and I'm going to add that into the gravy of my Salisbury steak. Okay, I'm going to transfer the patties in this plate, and right in that sizzling leftover oil in the pan, I will saute the remaining onion and mushrooms. Let's start with the onions. Give it a little bit of time so it gets aromatic. Now let's add the chopped mushrooms. Cover it, that way it don't dry up too fast. Okay. Smells really good. We're going to add our mixture of Worcestershire sauce, pepper, and flour. Okay? That's going to be the gravy for the Salisbury steak. Let's bring it to a boil. Now the flavor of the beef patties with all the seasonings, onions and bell peppers will be right in this gravy, and it will be very, very flavorful. And so let's go ahead and add this. If you don't have excess broth from your steamed or stir-fried vegetable, you could use, let's get that out of there, that don't belong there. You could use any broth that you might have available. A teaspoon of salt, that's all that's needed. It's very savory. A little bit more of pepper. It's done. Now we're gonna put the patties back in here and let it continue cooking, and we'll have our quick Salisbury steak. Let's put the heat on low. And we're gonna cover this, let it simmer for about 2 minutes or so, and we're done cooking. So there it is, a very healthy but hearty plate of Salisbury steak and steamed and stir-fried vegetables. This is for my daughter's birthday meal.